This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert, Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies!
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around. Woo.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan De Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Culture that's got around Dylan De Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cullajar's got past, so Dylan. Light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan De Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in, we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the fishies, any of the piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're off.
First lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert, Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what,
Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he undercommitted, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if we get a good run. Dodd's just absolute thinker, but it is really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever it is you are watching from, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sim Racing World TV, and this is the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am series here. Normally live on a Sunday night, but unfortunately due to some server issues with our broadcasting software, our hands been forced a little bit here to do it on a Monday afternoon. But it's a nice and lovely Monday afternoon to do it. We are reporting to you from Sonoma for round number 3 of the V8 Supercars Pro-Am here, brought to you by Warren & Brown Tools. Off the back of an absolutely extraordinary Bathurst 12-hour race, probably one of the best that I've seen in a fair while. We're getting ready, and we're ready to go racing here tonight, middle of qualifying. We'll get to the end of qualifying, then we'll get into the races for this evening. I'm your commentator, Hamish Munro. Joining me here this afternoon is Steve Sinkovic. Steve, what an immense weekend of motor racing we've just had, and we get to cap it off here on SRW TV with not only the V8 Supercars Pro-Am this afternoon, but later tonight, JP and Cowie get to call the magnificent action that is the Motorsport Australia Formula Vs.
Oh, mate, it's epic. It's I actually sat back and watched some of it yesterday, what I could. Obviously, 12 hours, a pretty big foray to sit for me with a 4-year-old running around. But I did get a chance to watch bits and pieces of it, and a couple of really silly accidents, and a bit of entertainment left, right, and centre, but a lot of fun to be had.
Well, I think the highlight for me during the day was the absolute Tony Hawk grind level sort of 360 McTwist that the WRT Beamer did up at the cutting. In fact, I even made a meme, put it into the Shakedown group on Facebook. It's going absolutely gangbusters amongst that crew. But I mean, let's go back to Tuesday night, Steve. What an absolutely epic race we had. Wasn't necessarily down to the on-track action all the time, but we had some magnificent strategy plays that all kind of came together, included with the amount of on-track heat that we had just from the temperatures out here in California, up to 57 degrees track temp during those races. It all came together and almost created like a nuclear bomb of excitement for us here in the booth. Hopefully we can see similar action here tonight out of the pros and the pro-ams. And I mean, with a higher class of racing possibly brings us a higher caliber of racing, but it could also lead to drivers wanting to push harder to get more time out of the car.
Oh, no doubt, mate. No doubt. It was Tuesday night was an epic night. So heat factor, strategy, fuel. It was really a night where tested the drivers still. The heat we had, I think, has got went over. I think it was around 60 degrees, if memory serves me correct, at one point. It was staggering temperatures. I think the average temperature was about 50 at one point. So the boys were battling with keeping the grip on a already, grainy and dusty track, which is already a little bit slippery without that. So hats off to them. They did an epic job.
Yeah, I think, the combination of the heat with this circuit that is known to be one of the tarmac concrete composite, circuit, I don't want to say layout, but the material that they're driving on. It's not straight up tarmac, it is tarmac concrete composite, which is what we see at a lot of US tracks. That is already low grip, as you mentioned, but you add in the heat factor, and it's almost like an ice rink out there, ironically, in this, 50-odd or 40-odd degree heat that they can get here in California. It all just kind of comes together and gives us a magnificent show to watch. But obviously we're running the Cup layout again tonight here for round 3. The car's about to grid up. We'll quickly run everyone through the starting grid for tonight's race, and then we can get into the absolutely magnificent action that is to come out of these two races. So Darren Lobb has managed to put the car on pole position there for DPR. He'll start there after getting a 131.682 in qualifying. Starting alongside him will be Jacob O'Reilly at a P2. Just in behind them is, Troy Stonestreet. I told you guys to keep an eye on him, and he's just going another level week after week, and he manages to get that WKMP Commodore up into P3. Bruce Tannick will start alongside in P4, so a couple of the Vets boys up there in the top 4 already. Then we've got Troy Dooley out of P5. He'll start P1 for the Pro-Ams for Performance Sim Racing. Next to Brad Doble out of P6. David Kirby will then start out of P7 for Fishy Motorsports. Gerard Sanfuentes, he's had a great run so far for the Pro-Ams. He'll start out of P8 but P2 in class. Then we got Peter Vanderkraan out of P9, just starting ahead of Andrew Cowan, making up the top 10. Then it's David Coleman starting next to Sean Smith out of P12. I have to add him to my list. He obviously wasn't on the Pro-Am list. A couple of drivers missing there as well. But John O'Kiley out of P13 ahead of Kyle Zink out of P14. Harry Dodds will then start at a P15 here this afternoon next to Connor Nixon from Vermilion Motorsports. They'll start ahead of our race control extraordinaire, but racing every Sunday night, Tyson McAvoy for Performance Sim Racing, or as he loves to call it, PSR. He'll start alongside the most famous man in the GR8 six-wheel, Luke Crum. I spoke to Crummy yesterday. He was excited for this race, and he was looking forward to see what Sonoma could bring. Callan Hodgkinson starts out of P19 for CXR. He'll start just alongside Chris Tomlin out of P20, with Cameron Jones starting at a P21. Miles Burgess not setting a lap time in qualifying, neither did Jamie Davis. So could Miles be on here after what we saw on Tuesday night, going from the back of the field all the way up to the front for the start of this race? But we're already going. I completely missed the start. They're trying to run through it. I do apologise. As we come up through turn 1 for the first time, the driver's just hoping to settle into a rhythm. We already saw some turn 1, lap 1 carnage on Tuesday night, Steve, but they looked to have got away nice and clean. But as I say that, Bruce Tannick is dropping down the order absolutely massively, and it's because he's had a moment at turn 2.
Yeah, the boys have done an epic job there. Lobby is straight away gapped those boys to a second within a couple of corners. So he's really put the fire on for this round, and that'll be 3 consecutive rounds in a row that we've seen Darren Lobb take off and streaks ahead at the start of the race. He's got his starts down pat.
We'll have to see here who can get the advantage over the first couple of laps here. 20-minute affair for the first race.
Another one down the back that's done a bit of a spin. It looks like it's Tyson McAvoy who's had a bit of a tumble. He's gone and fallen down the grid a few places.
We'll get the replay at the end of lap number 1 if we can. Does make it a bit hard though, being on a replay file trying to do that, but there are ways and means to get around it.
Lobby.
Oh, there's McAvoy. He's run wide again, and I believe Crummy was also involved. He's dropped down the order as well, but up the front, Lobby comes down towards the second to last corner. We spoke about Tuesday night, Steve, how much this corner can in fact bring a little bit of carnage about it, but we didn't really see too much occur Tuesday night. But with these pros out there alongside the Pro-Ams, we could see them start to push just to try and make up anything that they lose.
Yeah, I saw a couple of guys try to put the nose in and undercut the back end of the field there, and the boys came out fairly scathing free, which was good, but it's a good spot if you get the braking right to dive your nose in there and get around that corner. It's one of the few spots where you can actually do it if you're close enough. Same as this point here, if you're close enough you can get under there. We saw a few underpasses across there, and then the tight right-hander at the top of the hill once they do all these little S's down the bottom.
See Bobby still leading the way. He's done very, very well so far to do this.
Yeah.
And if we look at what the track temps could be already, we want to keep an eye on this because we saw how hot it got the other night. Track temp already up to 44 degrees, so we're already getting to the scoldering end of town when it comes to track temps. And well, we know that if it gets up to the temperatures that we saw on Tuesday night, there could be some real struggle bugs out there just trying to not keep tires, the tires up to temp, which they normally try and do, but actually try and keep the temp out of the tires, because that's when they start to lose grip, and that's when they start to struggle throughout the proceedings of the race. So to see what can come off the back of that.
This track's you really had to get your tyre management right, and also keep your tyres clean, because with iRacing these days, you get those dirty tyres, they don't clean straight away, so you wasn't rear end a little bit happy for a lap or two. Oh, nice little undercut there. As we mentioned before, it's a good place to try to get some passes done. Who was that? That was Cowie did that. Very nice move there by Cowie. Just got his nose in and under, nice and clean. Will be able to keep it. There's a lot of pressure on there from Peter Vanderkraan. Hang on, has Peter Vanderkraan changed teams?
No, he's just changed. He changed changed liveries for this week. I did mention on Tuesday night, but he's had big contact with, I believe that was David Coleman.
Coleman, yeah. I thought he looks like he swapped to the JTT team that Joe Marnie used to race for.
If we can get a better view of it, it is still Angry Birds Racing, but kind of a change of colour scheme for him here. Gone for the silver base and then the black outlines with the orange as well. I don't mind it. It looks quite nice.
Yeah, it looks quite good when it's fresh and not scratched.
Yeah, not when it's scratched. I did mention as well, though, at the start of the season, I did like the actual black base that they were running on those Angry Birds cars, but I don't mind this silver look either. I think they've done well to consolidate some good paint schemes on those cars for this season, and with a good paint scheme can sometimes come good luck or good driving. Doesn't always happen though, but we do hope that it can work out for him here tonight.
So we've got a battle pack that's really hunting at the moment. You've got Brad Doble, Cameron Jones, David Coleman, all within 0.2 of each other, really pushing hard here. It looks like one of them's going to make a bit of a dive in there. Doble's being cut in by who's that behind him?
That's Jones.
Jones has made it through. Too wide. Still go. Doble has not given up that position. Always pressed him hard against the wall. He is not letting him have a sniff there at all. And he's kept the inside line and the pace. But here comes Jones. He's got his nose through, and Coleman's taking advantage of that. Oh, beautifully done. Coleman's taking advantage of Blade Double having to go wide to avoid Jones, and he's ducked his nose in there.
Contact! That's 2 laps in a row that Coleman's had contact to that corner. We saw him struggle Tuesday night, Steve, with the pace. It seems he's actually managed to find some here as Doble runs it out wide.
Doble's lost momentum and gone wide there.
Dropped a heap of spots. But it's good to see Coleman's back up to pace here tonight. He really struggled Tuesday night. Good to see this, but Smith up the inside. That's a nice move. Vanderkram wants it as well. Not quite close enough to get it done this time by though.
The boys are not giving up any bit of real estate at all. Here we go. Coleman again for another pass. This will be like 3 in a row. He's made it. Will he stick? Will he go that too wide? There's enough for a cutback. No, he's blocked the angle off and made it all the way through. Oh, this is the Coleman of old. We haven't seen this for a few weeks.
It seems like he's got a bit of hunger about him. Must have watched the 12 hour. Saw how some of those drivers were driving yesterday and decided, hey, I can show those boys up a little bit. Let's go racing here at Sonoma, and it's really paying off for him at the moment. But
some of those drivers need to learn from Mike Myers how to turn a car around instead of doing 30, back and forward to do a 3-point turn.
I know, although one of my favourite moments was the Mustang just slowly backing its way down to Forest Elbow.
I did see that. I did kind of like the way the KTM tried to do it and beached itself.
That wasn't the KTM, that was the Vortex car. The KTM actually didn't get a chance to run yesterday, which I was upset about because I love the fact that KTM likes to go to Bathurst, but unfortunately it was out after practice and they didn't put it back out there. But that Vortex car, that was really a bit of a rolling roadblock yesterday, I think. It probably, I think it produced, maybe half of the safety cars possibly. I don't know. It was pretty interesting, but
it's a bit hard too when some of those pros were actually giving a few love taps out of my way to some of those Pro-Am drivers, which was not a nice way of doing it. They could learn a few things from racing in SRW for a few seasons. But Coleman has really stepped it out. He's taken out what is he? 3.10. 3.1 gapped already on Smith.
That's to the car ahead up to Jones.
Yeah.
So he's currently got 1.6 odd seconds back to Smith.
Oh yeah.
But Jones, he's in a nice little battle here with Cowie up the road from them. He's been trying to get this move done for a couple laps. Looks for it up the inside at the hairpin. Cowie's going to give him plenty of room. That's a bus width. So you can say whatever you want about Cowie, but he gives heaps of room.
He's selling real estate there, mate. He sold himself real short, that's for sure.
He may have let him go.
He gave him that much room that could have pulled in a Dyson bus through that gap.
He gave him the room. Oh, Brad Doble's had an incident though off the back of the hairpin.
He's rotated round. Not sure if there was contact or not, but he's at least he's got plenty of space to rotate that car and get back in. He's having a bit of a night at all sorts, isn't he?
He is. So only going from bad to worse for him here. But you see here Kirby as well. He's trying to chase down San Fuentes, who sits P2 in class for the Pro-Ams. P5 overall. As we mentioned, Nixon is just in behind. Smits under attack here from Harry Dodds, who, unfortunately for Doddsy, he had an unfortunate night Friday night in the IMSA Series. Steve, I don't know if you saw it. His race was all over lap
every minute
one.
of it, mate. I watched every minute of it and quite enjoyed the commentary of yourself and our new commentator, Stephanie Piccoli. She did an exceptional job.
I did have a speak to her post-race, said, if you want to come on board, I'm sure we'd be more than happy to have you. She is unfortunately unavailable this Friday night, though, so we will have to find another ringer, although I think if Ryan Price is available, he might be willing to do it. So we'll try and line that up. At this stage, though, it's almost becoming like consistent host with, many different co-hosts throughout the season, which sometimes is good, though, because you can actually get different perspectives throughout the whole season from different co-hosts and kind of all.
I don't know what I don't like about you, mate. I'm finding it fine to commentate with you. Always a bit of a dive in there. I think that was Davis. Just made it through. Yes, he has.
He's done well. Vanderkreem wants to come back at him, though.
Yep.
We're getting up to the halfway point here, Steve. No safety cars just yet here this afternoon, but anything can happen out at Sonoma. We did see a couple come out Tuesday night, so could occur once again. We've still got the 40-minute feature, though, to come. So
yeah, you said just then we're halfway through, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
We've been here for 30 minutes, and then I thought, oh, hell yeah. We've got a 20-40 tonight, people. So we've got a 20-minute sprint race and a 40-minute feature. So the boys, actually, the boys have been quite tame compared to Tuesday night for the sprint race. We saw a little bit more bump and grind. Oh, look at that. Davis is taken right back on Smith. Let's see if he makes a dive on this tight right-hander at the top of the hill. See what the braking point's going to be like. If he's up close enough, he might be able to sneak his way into the inside. He's going for the inside. He's going for the brakes. He's staying in there. He's put his nose. He's got to give way each way. Nice move, both of the boys. Well done. They're still going 2 by 2, but Smith's got the momentum from the outside and he's kept the pace going through the corner. This is not over.
I think being able to run on that outside line got him onto the racing line just that little bit earlier than Davis, and that managed to allow him just to push the throttle slightly more. As obviously Davis didn't want to have to run it out too wide. They dance it through 9 up towards
I thought Davis
10.
was going to say hello.
He wants it up
He's
the
putting
inside.
the nose in there. He hasn't been given much room there. He definitely had pass there. He's done well. Nice and clean, boys. Great fighting. I like it.
To be fair to Smith for a second here, he was ahead at the point of turn in, so he didn't need to give him too much room. But he still gave him, room that is enough for the nose of the car to be there. But completely fair racing at this point, I would say.
Look,
nice
it is, mate. It is. I always adhere on the safer side. Something like that on a slippery track like that, you can be your own worst enemy. And when you're fighting for positions, these boys are currently in 12th and 10th and 13th. It's sitting there in a great spot for some points for the feature. I'd play it a little bit easier. Here we go. He's going again. Davis is not giving up, is he?
No, he's not. He wants to go full assault on Smith. Can he get it done up towards the next corner? Not quite close enough to dive it in this time by. Just moving up to another battle at the moment here. Connor Nixon trying to chase down David
You read
Kirby.
my mind,
He's
mate.
got
You
Jones
read my mind.
right in behind him. So these boys are uber close. Jones finally got it past Cowie a couple laps ago. And he's managed to break away off the shackles of Andrew Cowan. And now he can see Mr. Nixon in that Vermilion Motorsports machine right in his sights at this stage. We saw Vermilion. They had a good run Tuesday night. Faulkner and Greathead managed to get the P12 in the GTD class in IMSA Friday. And they'll be hoping to continue that run. There's been a crash, though, in behind with Jamie Davis and Peter Vanderkran.
Oh, no. Davis was having such a good run, too. That'll cost him. This is what I mean. Sometimes you just need to be patient for where you are and keep it cleaner if you can. Bit unfortunate.
So
what's he done? He got on the
coming
dirt.
up here. Has he looped it? Possibly. Oh, he's hit the tyres.
He's hit the inside tyre wall. Oh, hold your brakes, son. Hold your brakes.
That was so close.
That was close. So close.
Crummy managed to just get away unscathed.
Did notice that in the 24-hour, one of those guys sliding out and trying to correct his car and trying to get a re-entry, ended up spinning facing the wrong way. I thought, oh, another one, should have held your brakes.
Steve, did you watch the Bathurst race twice over?
I watched it a fair bit yesterday.
Because it was only 12 hours, not 24.
Oh.
Tell you what, one...
Did I say 24 hours, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Maybe that's what it felt like.
Maybe. One thing I am excited for, though, coming up next month is the Sebring 12-hour. One of my favourite events to watch. I managed to catch some of the Daytona 24-hour early this year. My onus this year is I want to try and catch as much IMSA action as I can throughout this year, and Sebring is one of the best events that they produce, and I'm super looking forward to that one. So that is the
My
next
question
on the...
is, we've got 7 people watching. Why aren't you working?
Yeah. Who's watching us?
Who's watching?
Who's watching us at 3:05 in the afternoon? Has the school run been done a little bit early today, and you managed to get home, or maybe they're waiting on the kids in the parking lot?
The kids sitting at the bus stop waiting for Dad to pick them up, and Dad's watching. Here we go. So that's Troy Stone Street and.
San Fuentes just in behind.
Fuentes, yeah. San Fuentes has been doing really well of late. This season, he's got himself a little bit more pace than usual. I'm liking the way he's driving.
Oh, we got Mr. Tomlin in the chat, Choppy. I asked him yesterday, mate, are you racing tonight? And he's like, oh no, I got another race. And then he's in the session. I'm like, well, you just lied. Also, Reese to go in the chat says lunch break in Perth. Actually, that's true. Yeah, midday in Perth, so they're on their lunch break. Well, what better way to spend your lunch break than to get some absolutely awesome action out of the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am. Savvy SNN, it's 12 at night for me. In Canada, I love me a bit of Canada. Love what you guys got going on. This is sick. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it. I'd love to know what part of Canada you're from. I've been a big fan of Canada and Canadian. I've been a big fan of Canada and Canadian culture pretty much ever since I started watching and following the NHL many years ago. My team, of course, is the Edmonton Oilers, based out of Alberta in Canada. So, unfortunately,
nothing beats the Philadelphia Flyers, mate.
I don't know how you can say that. We nearly matched the win streak record of the NHL set by the Pittsburgh Penguins of 17 wins. Unfortunately, the Golden Knights decided to ruin our season by getting rid of that after All-Star Week. So once again, they just break our hearts. Chop saying that race was at 12 for the Daytona 500. I blame my boss.
Oh, Nixon and Jones just swapped. Nixon's just finally passed Jones. And then Jones just got back in front of him again. So these guys are swapping through that hairpin.
Oh, so Savvy's from New Brunswick in Canada. So they're from the area of where, I don't know if you're aware of the show Trailer Park Boys. They're based sort of around the New Brunswick area. So also Mad Chad, if you know about Mad Chad, he has a lot of custom car building. He's based out in New Brunswick as well.
You mean Bad Chad?
Oh, Bad Chad, sorry, Bad Chad.
Bad Chad,
well, to be fair, he's pretty mad as well.
Bad Chad and the lovely Jolene.
Yeah, and the lovely Jolene.
Nixon's not giving this up. They had a bit of a swap at that hairpin in the final second last corner, and still ramming near each other and getting close. The rest of the field is sort of spread out. It's looking at we've got with about 3.5 minutes left in this heat, and the boys are sort of like, this will do us. But then you've got Jamie Davis in the back of Tomlin with a couple of tenths. Then again, Luke Crum on Kyle Zinn, couple of tenths as well. The battles are really, really close where they are at the moment. So the boys are doing really well.
I got to be honest, I've actually just gotten my facts completely wrong, Steve. I've just thought about it, and it's actually no. Trailer Park Boys and Bad Chad, they're out of Nova Scotia, which is like central Canada. New Brunswick is over near towards Quebec and stuff like that on the east coast.
Here we go.
My brain is completely fried, but you can see this zinc hard battle here with Crummy.
Yeah, boys are fighting really nice and fair. They're giving each other space, but they're not over. Crummy is sniffing the carbon dioxide from that exhaust pipe like crazy at the moment. He's got the intake completely in there. Let's see if he's going to put the nose in. I think he's just a bit too far out. If he's put the nose in here, it'd be sideways into him. But he's got a couple of laps left to fight for that position. So these boys we're watching at the moment are fighting for 13th and 14th. Very, very tight. Coleman's on the back of Cowan now of 0.35, giving him a bit of a shout as well, putting pressure on him too. So there's a couple of crucial spots that are up for grabs, and the boys are fighting for it. The Coleman and Cowan is for 10th and 9th, which is the pole. And the second position because we have a reverse top 10 for the 40-minute heat. So those two boys were fighting out for pole position at the moment. They've got it pretty much in the bag. Harry Dodds is like 7 seconds off their pace.
So, Crummy, the Bathurst local, of course, he was loving watching the live action from Bathurst out of his spa room. He was telling me and the boys while we were live on Discord with him, making us completely jealous. But right now, he's trying to put a heavy assault on Zink ahead of him here.
Yeah, Zink just seems to get away in the crucial parts of the track where it's sort of limiting the amount of attack he can do. Apart from this corner here, the run-on has been sensational, but it's going to be an over and under. Crummy's come in too hot, and Zink's taken the inside line, but Crummy's managed to keep it going. Well done. That was a great move by Crummy. Just as I was about to say, he was a bit too far.
So we've got about a minute left in this session. Darren Lobb has had an absolute massive run so far. We haven't really focused on him too much in the last 19 minutes or so, but that's because he's been on an absolute flyer. We've got O'Reilly P2, Dooley, then Stone Street. He's in a heater battle at the moment with San Fuentes. They got Kirby in behind as well. So, well, the battles are not over yet, Steve, but this should be the final lap of the race.
Are they ex-teammates there as well, Troy Dooley and San Fuentes? Troy Dooley's moved to another team, hasn't he?
No, he's still a part of Performance
He
Racing.
is,
So they're actually still teammates.
I think if there was one of the teammates had left.
Yeah, it was another one that started with T.
Yeah. Troy Daly.
Yeah, Troy Daly, that's it. Another
That's the one.
Troy.
Yep.
But Darren Lobb, I mean, what a run he's had this season.
Yeah.
Won a race
What
every
temperature have we
single
got
round.
for this heat?
Let's check it out. He's coming up towards the final corner. We're up to 46 degrees, so we're slowly climbing up the temperature gauge, but up through 8 and then into 9. Travis Daly, thank you, Reese. Appreciate it, mate. Travis Daly.
That's the one.
Up towards the second to last corner for the first race here tonight. It will be checkered flag running when he crosses the line. Darren Lobb will make it. One win from every single round so far here for the Pro-Am. Across the line he comes to take victory out of race number 1 here tonight. Jacob O'Reilly will come home P2. Troy Dooley will come home in P3 for Performance Sim Racing. Then Troy Stone Street in behind. A couple of Troys there in the top 5. And then Gerard Sanfuentes will come home in P5. Dooley was P1 for the Pro-Ams. His teammate was P2. Cowie, on the other hand, P3. So a Performance Sim Racing podium lockout there for the Pro-Ams here tonight. That's a great run from those boys. Unfortunate, though, for the team boss, Tyson McAvoy, who just drifts it through turn 1. He will come home at the back of the field.
We've just Tyson.
Tyson. He found the illegal parking spot.
He did. I think he's gone to sign some autographs.
Possibly.
Tell you what, it's Lobby. Sensational driving as usual. Let's see what happens in the feature with the higher track temps. We're going to expecting around the 50-55s at the start. I know they got pretty hot near the end. It's going to be tyre management and fuel management. Who's going to take it out to him? It's going to have to be. We're starting from 10th place, so he's going to have to fight his way through him and Jacob O'Reilly. So it's going to be very interesting how that pans out.
Interestingly enough, it'll be Cowie on pole, with Coleman starting P2. So we saw he had some good pace here tonight. Coleman could be a bit of a dark horse here for the feature, but we've got a little bit of a warm-up session now. It gives us an opportunity to kind of discuss what we've seen so far here today.
Coleman just needs to keep it clean. And, it's not an easy track to pass. The people that Lobby's got to pass aren't going to give it up the space that easy. So he's got to try to keep it clean and keep the passing clean. So Coleman's in a fantastic position.
Yeah, this could be a bit of a return to form for Mr. Coleman here.
Well, we need someone to break the streak. At the moment, Lobby's got 3 races in a row. This is obviously a heat and feature, so he hasn't won the round. But tell you what, he's put his stamp on it so far.
Tell you what, just to kind of go behind the curtain a little bit, Steve, are you preferring having iRacing up, or would you rather have the OBS up so you can see the timing towers as well?
Oh, look, I prefer the timing towers as well, mate, but I'm finding my way around it. It's all good. I'm looking at the, for those of you who aren't watching or can't watch the link, it is there. I'm just putting it in there. So if you're a bit like me and you like to have your splits and all that sort of stuff. That's the way to go. That's the way I watch my racing when I'm watching something seriously. So yeah, that's not an issue at all, mate. The boys for this next race are going to be issues. So we've got our grid isn't as big as we usually have. We're at 25 tonight. That's because the 24-hour. A lot of our races are at the 24-hour. I reckon it'd be easily 15 of our boys up at Bathurst at the moment for the 24-hour. So it's interesting to see how even the Kiwis that came across from our own crew, from Stephen McCartan and his boys. So it's very popular within our community.
That was 3 times, Steve.
What did I say? 24-hour.
Yep.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. We got you. I mean, to be fair,
go do some work, Reese. Adios, my friend.
Chop as well.
I know, Chop. I've just got it programmed in my head that it's 24.
It sounds like you need a new watch, Steve, because yours must be a bit slow. But
no, I'm just a wog, mate. My watch works on 24 hours. Let me have a sip of my Mount Franklin Light Spring Water, and brought to you by Mount Franklin Light Spring Water. I wish it was. That'd be a great one.
Imagine keeping us hydrated all throughout the proceedings of our shows all week. Of course, big thank you goes out to all of our series sponsors: Warren and Brown Tools, Shannon's Insurance, Grim Industries, Neuro Power, DSL Rail Services, Motorsports Australia as well. Tyson McAvoy in here. I found it very hard to drive because of my finger. Already making excuses is Mr. McAvoy, isn't he?
Oh, I hurt my finger.
The car bit my finger.
It's all right, Tyson. We understand, mate. We understand. It was only 4 days old, cut, so probably still a little bit ouchy.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Probably need to try and get some Lysol on there or something like that, just to try and, cool it down a little bit. Maybe keep it nice and fresh. But let's check out what the weather is at the moment here. After as of we're in the water.
Tyson goes, well, have a look how slow I am, mate. No different to the last 2 rounds.
So 47 degrees is the current track temp coming towards the end of the warm up. So we could end up getting above that 52, that 50 degrees. Steve, I doubt we're going to get up to 57 like we did on Tuesday, but we're still going to get to pretty hot conditions here this afternoon. So could be on.
Cracked 60. I think pretty sure we cracked the 60 on Tuesday night. That should be interesting.
It was 57 was the hottest we got on Tuesday. I mean, it's close enough to 60. It's 3 degrees? Yeah. Like, it's uber close. I think we'll crack the 50. I doubt we're going to get as far up as 57, which was the hottest we've actually had a race this season. Oh, Ty's saying he loves a bit of netcode in race 2. We'll have to wait and see how that works out for him. But yeah, so we got about 40 seconds towards the end of the warm. No one's on track, Steve. So everyone's
Tyson. Jesus Christ, mate.
At least he gave us the spoiler alert. But 30 seconds, no one's out on track, Steve. So everyone might just be, having a bit of a rehydration session and.
Let's face it, they're all checking the results from the 12-hour.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the 12-hour ended yesterday at 5:45 in the afternoon, and then the session opened at 6. So if they hadn't have watched it, then that's on them for missing the end of the race. Big shout as well goes out to Matty Campbell and Grello for getting the win yesterday. I said at the start of the race I'd love to see Matty Campbell win, and he ended up pulling it out, so that was good. Unfortunate he couldn't win at the Daytona 24-hour earlier in the month, but at least he got the 12-hour.
Won 4 years straight now.
No, that was Sun Energy who won 3 years in a row with Jules Gounon, Kenny Habul, but they came second, so they unfortunately missed the chocolates on that one. But our starting grid for race number 2. Up. No, we are gridding up anyway. It's not even giving me the right starting order, unfortunately for me, but we got the cars gridding up.
As long as we can see the cars, I'm happy.
We got the cars on
track.
They
are.
Jacob O'Reilly starting towards the back of the field, and there's Gerard Sam Fuentes. David Coleman, he starts P2. He did win. Did he win? Was he in the Felipe Nasr car? My brain's fried after watching 12 hours of racing yesterday.
No, that's the car he's been driving, mate. he's in lead position.
So Coleman starts P2. There's Cowie P1. We're not going to miss the start this time, Mr. Chop. Don't worry. We won't miss it this time. We can hear them revving the engines. They want to get ready to go. We'll have to wait and see what they can produce here on lap 1. We lasted one corner more before we had any sort of collisions happen compared to Tuesday night. Revs are rising though. Cowan on pole, Coleman second. Who's going to get the jump down towards 1 and 2? Relatively good start here from the majority of the field as we make our way up through turn number 1 for the first time here in race number 2. As they come up through
Connor Nixon's made a killer start there. He's overlapped Coleman like crazy through the top there.
You see here, everyone just kind of fanning out a little bit as they come up through 3 and 3A. McAvoy's had an off track in the background. He's dropped a couple of spots here off the back of that, but you see this. Oh, look at that. That's Dooley off track. Or contact in behind as well. That's Tannick.
Yeah, looks like someone's got the rear end loose and bumped into each other. I think that's out the back. Oh, Tyson's dropped a few places down. There he is again. He must have some damage, I think. Tannick, Miles Burgess and Zink at the back there. Here we go on the inside. 2 by 2. Boys are putting on a bit of a show. Oh, who was that re-entry from all the way out wide?
That was Sam Fuentes.
Wow.
Making his way back onto track. So here, Lobby, he hasn't really made up anything in this race thus far, but it is only lap number 1. I'm sure he'll pick his way through the field. Doddsy, though, has had a great start. He's up into P9 already. So he's had a great run.
On this track is get a clean start, get the tyres up to temp, and off it goes.
So, also, funnily enough, Cowie is already out of first place. He's dropped spots early here. He's back down into P5. But Coleman, he's had the great run thus far, and he started out of P2. He's already up into P1, and he's got Nixon just in behind him here, trying to put all sorts of pressure on him. But, I mean, Coleman,
we must
he's got
have
his
missed the
teammate.
pass on Coleman on Nixon, because Nixon had him in the first lap. But it looks like Nixon's copping a bit of pressure there from Dave Kirby too. So it looks like the Fitchies want to have a bit of a 1-2 for a change. We haven't seen that for a while. And Cameron Jones right on the back of David Kirby, like 0.27 seconds, and whooping his nose in the mirror and letting him know that he's there.
He's on board now with Jones as we come up through the infield section of this Sonoma circuit. Unfortunately, Kyle Zink is not in this race, but he has been subbed out for Miles Burgess, who missed the first one. Managed to get him for the second one here tonight, though.
Here we go. Is he going to make a dive? No. No, he's cut the corner off on him. He's taken the centre line there, so it was great work there by Kirby, driving just slightly defensively, just off the normal line, just so that Jones couldn't get a sniff in there.
They come up.
Car gets a bit light. Car gets a bit light right here. As you're coming through this section, it's bouncing up and down, and you're trying to get on the brakes while you're on that little bit of a corner. Quite a dangerous spot. Oh, have a look at it. Kirby's having a sniff. No, he's just letting him know he's there.
I think
Jones,
maybe just, I think what that was there, Steve, I think he's just pulling out from in behind the other car so he can brake just that little bit later and just stick with them through the corner. So not necessarily going for a pass, but actually managing to stick with his regular brake marker. See it quite a fair bit in the supercars, especially across all 3 nights that I broadcast, and not only for this but for the vets as well. And there's a lot of drivers that do it, and it manages to keep them in the fight and manages the washout of the car through the corners. But look at this, Nixon runs it wide. Kirby wanted it, wasn't quite close enough, and now Jones wants it up the inside of him. He's going to get it, but Kirby's going to have the run through the inside of the next corner as well.
He hasn't given it up yet. He hasn't given it up yet. Oh, there's a fair bit of lock up there. Kirby's got the momentum through there because of that lock up. He's going to keep it inside. He's just going to maintain. Nah, he's slingshot it past him then. Yeah, look, it's a good tactic to sort of come off angle like that, but also puts you in the windows and the mirrors of the driver in front of you. So it puts the pressure on. I don't know if you're going to dive into that spot or you're just going to maintain the gap.
See Cowie there in the background. He managed to make up a position on Jacob O'Reilly. He's now back up into the top 5 and trying to chase down Kirby in P4. Looking off the back though, Cameron Jones's car. You can see the train that is following them around through 8 and 9. It's a good run from them so far. They look nice and tidy here, Steve. Haven't really seen anything too collywobbles, we'll say, or anything too, mysterious.
Have a quick look at Crummy, Troy Dooley and Brad Doble. The that was really tight till a second ago. Brad Doble has got so much pressure on the back of Troy Dooley there. They were like 0.2 of a second at one point.
Off the back here of Dooley's car, under immense pressure from Doble in behind. As they come up through 2. Looking nice and tidy. We can see Vanderkraan trying to chase them down as well. This boy's been having a good run so far. Nice and tidy here in the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes have absolutely flown by of the feature race, haven't they, Steve?
Yeah, yep, 100%. Harry Dodds and Jonah Kiley have both gone through the pits. They must have gone in for damage or something like that.
And I'll tell you why. It's because we have got a safety car.
There
so
you
the
go.
safety car is out on track for the first time here tonight.
Safety car is waving the back markers around, waiting to catch the lead car, which is Dave Coleman.
So he'll be waiting for the leader. It's a good-looking car. Cannot disagree, cannot deny. So it is our first instance of the Pro-Am Department safety car here tonight. We'll wait for Mr. Coleman. He jumps in, and why wouldn't you? Out of the lead, into the pit lane for the first time. Just going to resize that a little bit. That's a bit better.
It's not a bad thing to do, even if you do lose track position early on like this. He's not going to lose a hell of a lot compared to what he would do if he had to pit. If he had to pit, you would be losing about 10, 15 places. He's only lost... he's lost 10.
So we got...
And dropping.
Drop in the chat, he's blaming Tyson, so it must have been a Mr. McAvoy who's actually caused the safety car for us. He just wanted to see it on track, I reckon. But Nixon now leads the way. Cowan second, O'Reilly third, Sanfuentes fourth, and then Stone Street in fifth. And we got Lobb, Smith, Tomlin, Crump, Dooley. That's the 10. Apparently Tyson's car died. That will be the answer to that one.
It died or he killed it?
Oh, man, maybe it was just the finger and he's blaming the car.
Yes.
So, Coleman, he currently has the strategic advantage now over the rest of the field. Obviously, he's coming out of P1. Lobb has actually stayed out. So, Coleman came in on lap 4. This will be interesting to see how this fuel strategy maybe plays out both, apparently, according to Tyson.
Cameron Jones followed him in as well, so...
Yeah.
Cameron Jones, Kirby, and Davis all followed the same strategy. So it should be interesting to see how they go.
As well as Vanderkraan, Burgess, Hodgkinson, and Kiley, although that was Kiley's second pit stop of the night. If we check out the weather, Steve, although Kiley wouldn't have actually lost too much time, 49 degrees, so we're etching closer and closer to that elusive 50-degree track temp that we saw the other night. But
crowd's a bit sparse on the hill there, but the grandstands are fully packed, so I hope they're all keeping hydrated.
With their simulated bottle of Mount Franklin water. It just writes itself, Steve, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just writes itself.
I just want to see one of them out there wearing a bong cap, a beer bong cap, Just, it's got to be done. You just got to have one spectator out there wearing one.
Oh, I'm sure there is one that is out there. They do love it for the NASCAR stuff and the IndyCar stuff as well, for iRacing. So I'm sure there's a few out there with one on their heads out here in the dunes of California.
Yeah. Well, while we've got the safety car out, I'd like to put a big thank you out there for Warren Brown Tools, Shannon's Insurance, Grim Industries, Neuropower.
Shunt Scenery, who we actually forgot before as well.
Shunt Scenery. My brain just went blank for a change.
DSL Rail Services, Motorsport Australia.
Everyone for the support. It's been a good start to the year, and we just got to keep the momentum going all the way through to 2024 for a big finale.
I mean, it's been a fantastic first 3 rounds so far, Steve. Obviously, we're etching closer to the halfway point of the season, of course. And one thing I actually found out,
we already
Steve,
had 3 rounds. It's unbelievable.
One thing I found out off the back of our conversation the other day about the new F3 car coming into iRacing. I actually found out the new F3 car actually is not getting rain when it's first coming in, so we don't even need to worry about that. I spoke about it on my podcast yesterday, Beyond the Apex. Found out that the cars that are getting rain are the Formula Ford, so the FR 1600, the GR86. Obviously, we run a series in the 86s. All of the sports cars, so the GT, LMP2, and GTPs are getting it. There was another one, and the F4, I believe, is also getting the rain as well. So those are the cars that are getting it at the start of Tempest. And then other cars will be added over time, including, I believe, when new cars are released, they should also be getting that as well. So that'll be interesting to see when we tackle that and when that comes. But we also spoke about, though, Steve, actually introducing the new F3 car eventually into the field as well, if that's not correct, obviously.
Look, we usually do follow the upgrade when the Porsche went from the 992 to the Cup car, or vice versa, whatever it was. We changed it because it was part of the general progression of the series. We'll definitely be looking at the new F3 version, and we'll put it out to the boys like we do. We have a very tight F3 community, and people say, why haven't you gone F4, or why haven't you gone that, why haven't you gone that? Because the driving that we have in the F3 is exceptional. The car's not too fast, where it's just all chaos. And you got to drive, within a skill set to keep it competitive. And the boys are super fast, so it works. Why break something that doesn't work? Hopefully, the new model is got a few updates that will make it a little bit more exciting. But yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
Well, there will also be a brand new Class C official series coming in off the back of the release of this car. It will be the Super Formula Light series. Of course, the regular Super Formula is the SF23. And off the back of this, the new car will be coming in as the Super Formula Light. So the newest version of the F3 gets its own official series as well, which is good to see. So it'll be cool to see how the drivers tackle that challenge of the changeover. But that would not be coming until Season 2 of SRW TV this year. But Nixon leads the field across the line. We go racing once again out at Sonoma. 12 minutes into the 40-minute affair. We've already had one safety car. O'Reilly wants this on Cowan, but Cowie has the inside line here. So all of a sudden, it is a Vermilion versus Performance Sim Racing tag team contest. Stone Street's in the background in the WKMP machine, and as well as Lob in the DPR car as well.
Tomlin's got himself all the way up as well. He's sitting in 8th position now. It's a great little rise all the way up the ladder.
He's done well so far. Does need to pit, though, as well as his teammate Luke Crum in the background. You can see here, Cowie, though, intense battle already here with O'Reilly. Nixon wants to try and break away off the back of it. As we come up,
he needs to break away, and he also needs to fuel save Nixon. So he's on a different strategy to those to the lead bunch that we've got of Jones, Coleman, and Kirby. Coleman has actually just been passed by Jones then too in the background, so they've swapped positions, but all very, very tight. The timing tower is all yellow and gold, all 2.25s and 0.5s.
See here, Bruce Tannock under immense pressure now from Jones. Of course, both these boys on a different strategy. Jones, Coleman, Kirby, Dobble, they're all on the better strategy. Tannock ran it wide, managed to get it back on unscathed. Jones wants it up the inside, though, at the hairpin. That's a great little move. Tannock leaves heaps of room for them.
1-2 spots lost there. It looks like Kirby got him in there as well.
That'd be Dave Coleman, actually, who managed to get in there.
Yep, it was Coleman.
But, Tannock just scraped the wall, and that pushed him out up to the right-hand side. That's going to drop him a heap of spots.
We'll have to see later on if that was contact or not. Everyone is putting on a show. Jacob O'Reilly is all over Cowan at the moment. He's going to be passing him soon by the look of it. Like 0.22. A nice dive on the inside there by one of the 9.5 boys. Oh, Kirby is really all over that as well.
So he wants this move done too. Oh, big lock up though from Crummy up ahead. No, that was Tomlin, sorry. Tomlin. Who had the lock up. The New Holland entry for LCR Esports. So they make their way through, and we spoke about at the start of the show, Steve putting my phone on silent so my dad didn't ring me. He's ringing me right now, so on cue, he's calling me on his way back from Woodend, and unfortunately, he's going to have to miss out on his phone conversation this afternoon with me.
Nesbitt Smith's on the back of Troy Street. It's so tight everywhere. You've got Luke Crum, Cameron Jones, Troy Dooley, all 0.2s and 0.1s. It's crazy out there the way these boys are fighting. Have a look at this around the main hair. Oh, there's a bit of a dive down there, nice and clean around his main hairpin. Everyone's playing it safe. Oh, there's a bit of a sniff there. They're going too wide and then 2x2 after those. But it looks like that is Dooley back there. I mean, Doble.
It is Dooley. Doble is
right there.
Doble. He's right in behind him. So
sniffing at the back of that.
But we see here as well,
So,
Darren Lobb has also now jumped Jacob O'Reilly. He wants to get past
he's having
Cowley
another
as
sniff.
well.
Oh, that was just so easy by Lobby. He made that look so simple.
And now he
Jeez, the
hopes...
pacing up that hill he must have taken was spectacular.
Oh, must have been. He hopes to now chase down Connor Nixon in P1. Of course, we know how good Lobby is at saving the fuel. So don't count him out just yet. Even though the likes of Jones and Coleman and Kirby have got a little bit more fuel in the tank for this point in time, Lob is still in a competitive position, we can argue, because of how good he can actually fuel save in that car. Kylie is still struggling a bit further back down the field. Jones has now gotten around Tomlin at turn 7 as we come up through 8, 8A and 9.
Tannock's in the pit. I think he may have a bit of damage from that clipping on the wall he took. Looks like McAvoy is he on track or is he giving up?
He's on track. He's just ahead of Mr. Kylie in the background.
Yep.
They're still trying to make up some time and just stay competitive.
Going off his new Harvey Norman sponsor.
Dooley is in the pits. So Dooley makes his way in. That now promotes David Kirby up onto the back of Luke Crum. And Coleman has made his way past as well.
Now. Yep. It's all filtering down. So the top 7 still haven't pitted. Cameron, Connor Nixon, Darren Lobb. Darren Lobb has already got that time down to 1.2, 1.1. That was 2 point something at 1 point. So he's brought that down by a second already.
So there's our pit laps. That shows you who has come in and who hasn't, and when they've come in as well. So if they're blank, they are yet to make a pit stop. So it'll be up to them when they want to, take the chance, take the gamble in this race. We're getting closer and closer to the halfway point. And take a Scotty Gamble. Big shout out to Scotty Gamble as well. Of course, Toy Stone Street, newest member of that team, WKMP Sim Sports. And he's doing an exceptional job. I told you he'd be rising the ranks
Kirby's
this season.
Past Crummy.
Oh, no, there's been contact with him, though.
Off. He's had an off, but he's also taken Kirby. Don't know how what happened there. I can just see them all both falling down the timing tower. Kirby's out there. He's like, he must be hand in hand at the moment because he's just sitting there.
So they come up here towards 6 and 7. Oh, and they just had a bit of a clip.
I don't know how that one worked out. I reckon that could have been the way Crummy's car. They were both pretty straight. The way Crummy's car reacted, I reckon that was netcode. Because they were side by side and Crummy's car just bounced all of a sudden, even though they were just side by side. But unfortunately for Kirby, he got the brunt of it, and he's let all the cars pass now, so he's probably had it for tonight.
Well, Crummy makes his way up through 9 up towards 10. O'Reilly is in the lane. So he now makes his way down here, trying to get that pit stop done and dusted here tonight, as well as Burgess. He's also in. So he's not going for the strategy that we saw on Tuesday night with him. He's playing a little bit smarter here tonight, getting the fuel in the car nice and early so he doesn't have to worry about the tyres getting all overheated throughout this race. Let's check the temps. We're up to 50 degrees officially here, Steve. So 50-degree track temp. It will feel like absolute ice out there, as ironic as that sounds.
Yeah.
So they are going to have to manage the tyres.
Lobby's caught him already, mate. It's taken him 3 laps. He's got him.
Yep. So we'll have to wait and see how this pans out here for Darren Lobb, of course, winner of race number 1 here tonight. And he will just be...
currently lapping about 9/10 faster than Nixon. So his last lap was a 33.6. Nixon's was 34.3, nearly 34.4. So doing exceptionally well. He's showing that he's got some very fast, clean pace out here. Now he's got him on the drag as well.
He does.
Which is going to help him even more.
So on board now with Nixon. We'll hear if he clutches this in, if he is trying to save fuel. He gains so much time through there.
And Lobby would have been on the clutch there. He just would have taken the pace and rolled the car out.
Such a smart operator is Darren Lobb. Andrew Cowan, Troy Stone Street into the pits for their first pit stop of the night. I'd say that'll be their only one in this race. They've cut the race in half.
I think so.
Oh, Lobby wants something inside. Forgot to change the camera when I changed to the car. Wasn't quite close enough though to get it done.
So that's put Cameron Jones and Coleman up into 5th and 6th. They're in a very good position at the moment.
And they're only 4 seconds off the back of Lobb. So actually, they've got a much better advantage now over Lobby does, because they've done a pit. They put a bit of extra fuel in. They can now go slightly longer, and they could also put a little bit less fuel in come the next pit stop. So they're at a really good advantage here over Lobby. He really will want to try and spread that gap back to Jones and Coleman to try and cut down that advantage. 40 Water AZ, g'day from the USA. Great to have you here in the chat watching this brilliant action for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars series. Here we got the Sunday Pro-Am. It happened live last night. We would have been broadcasted last night if it unfortunately it wasn't for some server issues for our broadcasting software. But we're able to bring you the live action on the day after off the replay file, which we are at least appreciative that we can do that. And it means that no one misses the action for this season.
Just on strategy, remember, last week, Lobby went longer in his second stint and dragged all that time, and his pit stop was a whole 10 seconds shorter because of the amount of fuel he had to take. So this could be the position that Coleman's in and Cameron Jones. They're going to go longer now, so their pit stop for the second one is only going to be a short little squirt. It's not going to be a lot. It's probably going to be 10 seconds match just to get the bit of fuel in. So it's gonna even up at the other end. It's going to be interesting. Connor Nixon and Lobby are going to be up against Jones and Coleman.
See, this is the battle for P1 and 2, but it's not the provisional P1 and 2. That goes to Cameron Jones, and Dave Coleman not too far behind. He's already up on the back, though, of Smith is Jones. So he looks to even out this playing field by making up more and more spots. You'd have to argue it's almost a guaranteed top 5 without any incidents happening before them. Luke Crum into the pits now as well, so he'll come in and take the stop and just try and fix that car up after the contact with Kirby earlier on. Kirby as well is out of the race. So he's actually parked it and he's actually pulled out. So I think possibly he may have known that something wrong may have happened. I'm not 100% sure. I can't speak on his behalf.
Or something like that earlier and too much damage coming through. So yeah, that thing happens. I hope everyone's having a nice day. Pretty wet here in Japan. Well, I hope you're joining in Japan, Chiefy, because when you come back, I've got a lot of work for you, mate. And 40 Water AZ went to Sonoma a bunch of times as a kid. Great track. It looks like an amazing venue. I wish we had more venues like what you guys have in the US. We're unfortunately limited to the tracks that we have.
I do like, though, the fact that Australian tracks do not have the concrete tarmac composite, though. I will say that. I do prefer us having just the full-on tarmac. I was having
Fuentes and Smith's in.
They are. They're in for their pit stop. I was having the conversation yesterday on my podcast about Australian tracks. You know, Steve, we have got the third most tracks for, like, Australia has got the third most amount of tracks on iRacing out of any country. The only two with more tracks is the UK and the US.
Well, yeah, I guess we've got a lot of tracks here. Unfortunately for the rest of them, UK and US, there's a track. Each one of those places have got but the tracks they've got again, Spain, two amazing tracks. You know, it's like
Spain have actually got 4 tracks now.
Yeah,
they've got 4, and they've got a 5th on the way coming next season. So they'll actually equal us next season when they get their next track.
I hope they Are we still unhappy about how many are on here?
No.
Well, no, we're not unhappy, mate. We're loving it, mate. We're loving it.
I think Chop's saying that generally that there are
10
people in
watching
the,
it, an hour in, watching a spectacular bit of racing and listening to two fools. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. And isn't a tight little fight here too? So the boys are putting them right on pressure at the moment.
They are. I think Chop's meaning that there are people in the Australian iRacing community complaining about the fact that we don't have every single Australian track on iRacing.
Oh, I get what he's saying.
We have got 5 tracks, one of them being that no longer exists.
Yeah,
so
this is true.
we at least have
Well, I want to know if Motorsport Australia's going to put a petition in when we get the new track at Avalon, and also I'd really like to see Albert Park out there.
Yeah, the only problem with Albert Park is because of the F1 rights that it has, and them being the only major sport. Obviously, Supercars race there, but they are a support act to the F1. Then it's the same thing for Monaco, tracks like that. Only F1 races there, so they technically actually have the rights. If we're going to get a street track, we're likely going to get Adelaide or Gold Coast.
What about? Hang on. What about Sydney Motorsport Park and the Bend? The Bend's a spectacular track. The Bend will be perfect for iRacing because of all the different track layouts you could do.
So it would be if Assetto Corsa did not own the rights to it.
Yeah.
They have got an exclusive deal.
What's that, mate?
They've got an exclusive deal with the Bend, and the Bend sell the official mod of the Bend from their actual track store. So.
Did you say a corset? Instead of a corset? Is that a bit of clothing you're talking about? I've never raced it, never tried, so I'm not going to pick on it.
But so I mean, realistically, the tracks that we could get Wanneroo, we could get Sydney Motorsport Park. I'd love for us to get Calder, being that they're rebuilding Calder and resurfacing it. I'd love for us to get that.
Yeah. Well, Calder's newest formation won't be up to speed for at least another 4 years. I had many of them not too long ago. They've got a 6-7 year project on board.
It's the same with Pakenham as well, with Pakenham being built. Once that's built, we'll probably also likely get that at some point in iRacing. I'd love for us to get the likes of Lakeside if they could somehow get it in. That would be pretty cool. Very unlikely. But yeah, so we actually have got quite a few tracks in Australia on iRacing already, and third most will soon to be equalised by Spain getting Circuit de Navarro in the next build alongside Algarve from Portugal. But we got some good stuff coming in the next season, Steve, and we've got some great tracks coming. So excited about Portimao. I showed a video on my podcast yesterday of a track, like an onboard lap of both tracks. Both tracks look exceptional. I've seen Portimao before though, but this is for the viewers to check out. But yeah, if you guys don't know what Navarro looks like and what Algarve looks like, be sure to check out. Just search up Algarve onboard lap or Navarra onboard lap, and you'll get a look at what the lap is like.
I've got to cut you off. Nixon's in. He's just gone into the pit, so he's triggered that. Lobby will probably go another 2 laps. But apart from that, some beautiful battles going on at the back there as well with Dooley, Stone Street, and Cifuentes too. And then you got Nesbitt on the back of Doddsy. He's putting a lot of pressure on Dodds. Actually, he's like 2 tenths. It's some battles going on.
So, your mate Jason Douglas in the chat as well. Rain next season as well. Yeah, that's right. I went through all the details of the Season 2 build on my podcast, Beyond the Apex, Jace. If you want to check it out, the details are there. We talk about rain. We talk about what cars are getting rain next season, and not every single car is getting it. And talk about what some cars might get. Also went through a full rundown of what some tracks we may be looking at.
All right. Stop plugging your bloody podcast.
I'm just saying so we don't have to talk about it right now, Steve. If they want the info, it's there. That's why. But Stone Street, he's in a 2-on-1 battle.
For those of you who don't know, Hamish does a podcast. And on what night?
On Sunday mornings, Steve.
Sunday morning. All right. So if you've got a hangover and you want to feel sick and get rid of the vomit, come and watch his podcast.
I think I was going to ask you to be on the podcast, Steve. Nuh-uh, not now.
I'm lazy. Here we go. Look at this. Fuentes on the back of Stone Street, really putting the pressure on. He's really impressed me this season, mate. Safrinas. He's taken it to the next level. I think the fact that Tyson might be having a bit of a rough trot with his boys, but he's out on track with the boys testing a lot. And I think that's helped some of these boys take it to the next level a bit, you know.
And I tell you what, Steve, this goes back to my point. I think we've got two drivers on track battling each other right now. We have Lob is in, so you called it. It was 1 lap more though, not 2. So Lob's in. Jones now goes P1. We'll have to watch how long Lobby's tire. He's missed the box.
Oh, he missed it. That's going to cost him a few seconds. Let's have a look. Is he 10? I reckon about 10 and a half. No, that rollback cost him. That cost him like a full 10th at least.
11.8 seconds was the pit stop time for him.
Cost him at least a second there. Here we go. He's coming out. He's coming out behind.
Miles Burgess and Nixon alongside. Oh, they're 3 wide.
3 wide.
So Nixon, off the back of that, has actually managed to get past. If Burgess wasn't there, Lob would have actually gotten Nixon.
Yeah, Burgess was a buffer there for Nixon. Nixon used him as a bit of a block there.
He did indeed. So he used him to his advantage.
Oh, look at that. But Lobby's not giving up that spot, no worry. Burgess is going to be, I reckon, before the end of this lap, Lobby will have him.
So Jones now goes back up into P1, Coleman P2, then it's Davis, Vanderkraan, Kylie, that's the 5. Nixon, Burgess, Lob, Cowan, Dooley, that's the 10. The battle on hand that we're watching, though, is Lob versus Burgess. The winner from race 1 tonight versus the winner from Tuesday night in the feature. And they're going at it hard.
He's made him go as wide as he can, but Lobby's not taking that. He's taking position.
He is the old dog versus the young pup here. Lobby versus Burgess.
He's probably younger than me.
Who, Lobby?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying that because Burgess is a lot younger than Lobby. Burgess is younger than 100%. Me. So.
Nice dive by Lobby.
Oh, there's a bit of net code between them.
He's got to leave him space. That was well done. Oh, who's that?
That's Kylie.
Kylie's gone out wide. He must have had a blue flag there.
No, he's not. This is for position. He's in the 10.
Oh, he's gone out wide there. He's lost 2 spots then. Look at the pace of Lob. He's just left Miles Burgess for dead.
I think what's occurred here, Steve, because of the better run out of the second to last corner and Burgess having to pull it up to avoid Kylie, that's now allowed Lob the chance just to break away and start to chase down Connor Nixon once again. Vanderkraan, he came in on lap 5, had a fairly long pit stop. I think he's actually copped a penalty because his last stop was 44 seconds.
Yeah, sounds like a drive through to me.
Yep, so that would be possibly a stop-go, being 44, because he wouldn't get timed for a drive-through. It was a minute 21 lane travel, so I'd say that's what that is.
27 minutes left. Lobby and Nixon need to work together.
We've got 8 minutes left.
Have we?
Yep. We're at 32
it's 32.
minutes in.
I thought it was 22, sorry.
32.
8 minutes left. Lobby and Nixon have got a lot of work to do to get up. Lobby's already on the back of him by 5 tenths, but those boys have got 6 seconds to catch up to Vanderkraan, who's 3 seconds behind the guys in front of him. So they've got a fair bit to go. There's got a 17-second gap to Cameron Jones.
Vanderkraan is in.
But will Cameron Jones and David Coleman need to go for a splash and dash?
That is the question on hand. And if they do, does it mean that Nixon and Lob get past them? Davis is in the same boat.
At this pace, they will. They're already 17 seconds behind them, 17 and a half. What have we seen? A natural, normal pit stop. If they go in for a splash and dash, they'll only be in by like 5-6 seconds.
Steve needs more sleep, forgetting all the numbers.
No, man, you know what it is? The numbers on the screen are too small, and I'm wearing my glasses and sitting too far back. I've got my beautiful Shure microphone sitting on a stand, and that stand is rested on my pot. It's a sight to see, let me tell you.
We've had three outs in this race, them being Callan Hodgkinson, David Kirby, and Tyson McAvoy. Although, no, McAvoy is actually back out on track. Sorry, I do apologise. He's not out.
He's getting some more practice in.
He's just a lap down.
Yep. Tomlin's just had a bit of an off. He's back on again.
Trying to chase down Peter Vanderkraan. He's got His teammate in behind of Luke Crump. Of course.
Tell you what, though. Last lap of Cameron Jones, a 1:35.32. Last lap of Nixon. And Lobby, who's just set the fastest lap, 1:32.7. That is unbelievable. 1:32.7 by Lobby. That is a sensational lap. 3 seconds?
That's the fastest lap of the race, as you mentioned. I mean, that
Yeah.
is exceptional.
Blistering.
It's 9/10 faster than Jones's fastest lap of the race.
Yep.
And,
So these boys are lapping 2 seconds faster than Jones and Coleman. Jones and Coleman will be obviously fuel saving at the moment as well. So they've dropped it down. We said 17 seconds before. It's already down to 11 seconds.
Tell you what, Lobby was not happy then with Nixon. He flashed the lights through 2. So we come round towards the infield here at turn 4. Jace Douglas saying tonight's going to be a touch and go for Formula Vs apparently. So
I think he means for him rocking up.
yeah, so we'll have to. Well, I mean, Steve will probably be hoping that you're there.
Oh, look, it's going to be a killer night. I don't even know we were racing. I haven't even practiced yet, so I've got no idea.
I've got the.
Oh, Lobby's taking the nose. He's dived in.
What's funny is I make the over or the thumbnails and I put the track on there and I've forgotten what track it is as well. So couldn't even tell you.
Lobby's got him over under, man. Beautiful pass there. He showed the pace out of the corner. Jeez, he's fast at the moment. He's really on form.
So tonight is Laguna Seca as well for the Formula Vs.
Oh, one of my favourite tracks. Nice. It's going to be hard for the Formula V. Very dusty track. And some of those corners, I can just see the first corner coming down the hill. Been a lot of carnage.
So we come through the second to last corner once again. Lobb versus Nixon. Do they have the advantage over Jones, Coleman and Davis on the podium at this stage? They've got the pace benefit, but can Jones and Coleman make it on fuel? That is the question at hand. 3.5 minutes to go in this race, Steve. You'd have to argue probably 2 or 3 more laps. And it is going to be tight at the top by the checkered flag flying at the end of this race. So Jones, Coleman, they're in the same boat with fuel. They're just fuel saving at the moment. Jones not really, Coleman, sorry, not really in the position to attack Jones at this stage. Davis is out of the fight for P1 and 2 at this point in time. A bit too far back. But Lobby and Nixon, those boys battling like it's nobody's business. Burgess and Cowan, they're in a good little fight too. This is for P6. Then Stone Street and San Fuentes not too far in behind in the battle for P8 as well, with Doble involved in that one too.
Yeah. The boys coming down, Lobby and Nixon are hunting these boys down, but they're like 2.5 tenths a lap faster at the moment. So they're doing extremely well, keeping up that pace. Obviously, lighter car. These boys have lighter car as well, but they're going to be fuel saving like crazy. What many laps we predicted we got left? We got 37.5, so we've got about 2 and a bit laps left. We haven't seen Barney come out yet.
No, we haven't. They're going to cross the line at about 37.35, so that gives us just over 2.5 minutes to the end. I'd say we've got 2 laps left in this race.
Next lap will be the white flag.
Yeah. So Jones.
This is a turnaround for Coleman, mate. I haven't seen Coleman at the front end, even in the top 5 for a while. So that's pretty good, actually. I think he was 6th or 7th last week in the race. But
it's good to see from him.
Came from behind, but Coleman's up on the podium, first time for 2024.
It's good to see from the Fishy driver. Also notably, no Ty Delaney or Blake Delaney here tonight. They're, of course, in the middle of their move. Of course, Blake is back from Vegas, but they're in the middle of moving house. So I would expect to see them back by next week, if not round number 5. So fortunately for them, they're not racing here tonight.
Yeah, track temperature would have been too hot. I'll tell you what, Cameron's got this sewn up. I don't think either of them can force the car any harder than they have to. Lobby is still, he's even like a half a second faster than Nixon as well at this point. He's really turning it on. His last lap was a 1:33.4. He's the only one lapping in the 33s regularly, so he's doing really well.
On board now with Coleman. He's dropped a heap of pace off the back of Jones. He's clutch into the same last corner.
That's a lot of clutch in, eh?
That's a lot. That
Yeah.
is a heap of clutch in for Mr. Coleman. So he is just trying to save fuel. 1 lap to go. So can they make it on their current fuel numbers? Only time will tell. We'll get the answer
They
at
could
the
be
end.
spluttering.
They could be.
Could be some-
It'll be.
what's going on here?
Jones has also dropped a heap of pace too.
Well, Jones is spluttering, and looks like Coleman might have a little bit more juice than he has. He might have saved a bit more because he's Coleman's like, yeah, I got a chance here.
But Jones still has enough to keep the car going, but question is, can he make it to the line?
Well, Lob has got that time down to 5.5 seconds. Here we go. This could be the last-ditch attempt by Coleman to get the podium. I thought it was all over Red Rover, but it looks like it isn't.
Oh, that's massive clutch in.
Oh,
It's massive
look at
clutch
that.
in at turn 6.
That is huge.
Coleman all over the back of him.
I reckon Coleman's going to have him if he can get a bit closer. I'm tipping the hairpin at the very end, the last corner is going to be where Coleman's going to send it. Oh, look at him. He's going to send it before, and he's all over him.
He is so close. Pressure's rising for Cameron Jones. He's
Coleman's
got
like,
2
where am I gonna go?
corners.
Jones is not leaving room. He's not leaving any room around, but Coleman's going to have to make a ditch here.
2 corners
Oh,
to
look,
go.
look.
Jones
Here we
has
go.
the inside line. Coleman's not
Over
quite
under.
close enough. Has he
Oh,
got it
connected
to
by
the
these
line?
lines out.
Round the final corner. What an exceptional display of fuel saving from both men. Jones in P1, Coleman P2, in an absolute classic. Lob's gotten past Davis. Davis has run out of
Yes.
fuel.
Lob and Cameron and Nixon have gone past Davis. Davis has just rolled over the track. Where's our top Pro-Am guy at the moment?
That would be Sam Fuentes just in the back of this battle. There's contact with Cowie.
Oh. Is that over the line?
That was
Contact?
Cowie and Dobble. That was after the line. That was after turn 1.
So that was after the flag, so that was all right then.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of friendly. I'm going to put you in the wall, I think,
Oh,
possibly.
man. So that's Cifuentes, Cowan, and Doble. The question is...
Sorry, no, I apologise. Burgess is P1. I'm sorry, I forgot. Burgess is a Pro-Am. So it's Burgess, Sam Fuentes, and Cowan.
Yep. Burgess, Cifuentes, and Cowan. Now the question is, was Cowan and Doble's run across the line a legal run because of the accident, or was that accident well after the fact?
Well, I'm going to see. I forgot to restart my event recording, so I actually can't go back and have a look. The only way I could do it is by just rewinding. That's the trick here. To go on the Inside Baseball, on a replay file, if you want to watch a replay, you have to then restart the event recording to get more replays after that. I forgot to do it, unfortunately, so we've only been able to have one replay tonight.
You know what? Another epic battle, another epic race. Good to see strategy come in play again. I think our admin, Greg Barber, has got the formula down pat for, the pits and the fuel loads and everything like that, because every race this season has come down to either someone trying to take an extra, like the boys today, went a bit early and fuel saved, or the boys trying to have 2 laps. So it was spectacular racing all the way through. Absolutely sensational.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve. I doubt we're going to see any burnouts because I doubt anyone's got any fuel left to do a burnout. So we're saving on fuel costs. We're also saving on tyre costs as well because we're not burning up rubber on these tracks. Exceptional afternoon of racing, of course. We'll run everyone through the results from the feature race. Provisional results, of course. Miles Burgess takes out P1 for the Pro-Am class. Sam Fuentes finishes in P2. Cowie in P3. Then it's Sean Smith out of P4. Troy Dooley will finish in the top 5. Peter Vanderkran in P6. Chris Tomlin will finish in P7. Then it'll be Lukey Crum out of P8. Hodgkinson will finish 15 laps down. He was in the lane. He comes home P9, and Kyle Zink did not make the start of the race. Then for the Pro class, just quickly here, it was Cameron Jones finishing out of P1 ahead of David Coleman in P2. Darren Lobb out of P3 here tonight, here this afternoon. Connor Nixon out of P4, with Jamie Davis making up the top 5. Unfortunately, running out of fuel on the line there. Troy Stoneshoot will come home in P6. That's a good run from him. Brad Doble out of P7. Jacob O'Reilly out of P8. Harry Dodds in P9. Bruce Tannick will then make up the top 10, a lap down off the leader. Then it's Kylie in P11. McAvoy 2 laps down in P12. And David Kirby 14 laps down off the rip. These are the overall finishes, though. They get scored on an overall ranking system. and those then scores go into their within classes. So if you finish 6th and Miles Burgess has finished as 6th, so San Fuentes finishes 8th, they get scored for P6 and P8, not for P1 and P2 in class. So that's how that works out. So if someone has a ripper night in the lower class, they can gain a heap of points on their fellow competitors. That is the top 18 for here tonight, or last night really, and this afternoon as we broadcast, and then back down to P22 in Hodgson in behind. So a good afternoon of racing for us to call here, Steve. I'm liking the vibes here of afternoon broadcasts, of course. We've got a massive week of racing coming up here for round number 4. Of course, tonight we have the broadcast for Formula V for round 3. They are out of Laguna Seca for a massive night of racing for them. You will be joined by JP and Cowie for that live action here tonight, 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Then on Tuesday night, we come back for the Supercars series for the Pro-Ams and the Amateurs, Steve, and we head over the pond to Silverstone for round number 4.
Nice.
Then for the Formula 3s on Wednesday night, we head over to France for Magny Cours. Going to be an exceptional night of racing there for the Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals. Then Thursday night, JP and Cowie, JP is back, sorry. I'm not sure if Cowie will be back for Thursday, but we'll have to wait and see. JP is back hosting the GR8 6s out at Road America for round number 4 of the Shannon's Insurance GR8 6 Nationals, which is also a Motorsport Australia official series. Then Friday, we're back for IMSA Shadow Series with Long Beach for round 4. Going to be carnage filled, I'm absolutely certain.
I do like Long Beach for those cars. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. And then we're back Sunday night, Steve. Hopefully we're back live for Sunday night here for the Pro-Am for Silverstone, of course, here for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am. And then we're back to next Monday. And next Monday, round number 4 is Alton Park for the Formula V. So much action coming everybody's way. Round 3 finalises here tonight for the Formula Vs, and then round 4 starts out tomorrow night for the Supercars once again. But been a great afternoon of racing. Been great to call with you, Steve, once again. And I'm excited to see what the Formula Vs can bring tonight and what the rest of the leagues can do for the rest of this week as well.
Well, make sure you log on tonight, people, at 7:50 to watch the boys in the Formula V put on an epic show. Last week race, if you have a chance to watch, you got to watch it, because the top 4 were swapping positions and rubbing a bit of rubber that they can rub in those Formula Vs. It was spectacular racing all the way through. So, yeah, get on there tonight and have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a watch of the spectacle that is Formula V.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will bring an end to our broadcast here this afternoon of the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am round number 3 here at Sonoma Raceway. It's been Sim Racing World TV bringing you the action once again. Big thank you to all of our series sponsors: Warren & Brown Tools, Shannon's Insurance, Shunt Scenery, Grim Industries, DSL Rail Services, Neuro Power, and of course Motorsport Australia. Thank you to all of those companies and guys and girls for supporting SRW TV. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys for letting us into your home or into your workplace here on this Monday afternoon, and letting us fill your ears with wacky terminologies, wacky calls as the supercars run around Sonoma Raceway once again. Thank you for joining us here on Sim Racing World TV. Been a massive afternoon, as I said. JP and Cow will be back tonight, 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time for the Motorsport Australia Formula 3 Nationals and official Motorsport Australia series. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon as well, so you are notified anytime we go racing across all 6 nights of racing that we bring to you here, including the Monday night Motorsport Australia Formula Vs, Tuesday night Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Series, Wednesday night Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals, Thursday night Shannon's Insurance GR8 6 Nationals, which is also Motorsport Australia official series, the Friday night Warren & Brown Tools IMSA Shadow Series, and then back again next Sunday night for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am Series out at Silverstone for round number 4. But until then, I've been Hamish Munro, joined by Steve Sinkovic. I will catch you guys tomorrow night for the Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals. I've said that about 1 million times already. Steve, tell them what you like to tell them.
I'll be on track tonight, so if you want to have a laugh, come and watch me spin at the back. And for all you people out there, drive hard and drive safe. See you all soon.
Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to slip on Dave Cole. now. Sam Noble model right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us.